QuickBooks Pro Plus Desktop 2022 OneNote presentation. Receive payment and make deposit. Let's get into it with Intuit's QuickBooks Pro Plus Desktop 2022. If you have access to OneNote, would like to follow along, icon left-hand side, topic introduction 7200, receive payment and make deposit tab. Also take a look at the immersive reader tool, topic introductions in the text files as well with the same number, same name, but with transcripts. Transcripts that can be translated into multiple languages and either listened to or read in them. Same name and number as presentations as well. Topic introductions designed to give an introduction to the topic, provide screenshots, links where applicable, give accounting background to complement the presentations, and can be used to follow along with them if you don't have access to the software at that time. Closing the icon on the left-hand side, we're starting off with the screenshot. Last time we looked at some invoices, which would be increasing the accounts receivable, increasing sales, possibly also having to do with inventory cost of goods sold and sales tax payable, but we're focusing in on the receivable, and then we're going to be recording the receive payment, which will be increasing the undeposited funds, decreasing the accounts receivable, then recording the deposit, which will be decreasing the undeposited funds and putting the money into the checking account. So here is the trial balance. The accounts that would be affected would be the checking account going up, and then the undeposited funds going down when we make the deposit, and then we would record the receive payment. I should have gone this order first. When we record the receive payment, we increase the undeposited funds, decrease the accounts receivable. Then when we record the deposits, we'll decrease the undeposited funds, putting the money into the checking account, increasing the checking account. If we go to the customer center, we could see the information that we've been putting in place, including the invoices. This is one way to sort the invoices and then see the payments that possibly we have received related to them. We can also go to the transactions tab on the right, look at the invoices and possibly sort by open invoices, which is nice because that can help us to track the invoices that have not yet been paid. We're looking at the receive payment, the form showing the open invoices then closing because we're going to receive payment. Here's an example of an invoice we had created in the past. Now we're looking into the receive payment, and so if we receive payment, it's going to be increasing the undeposited funds. Other side then going to a decrease in the accounts receivable. So here we've recorded a receive payment, and we could see that over here by the number 1 that's now ready for a deposit to happen. We see undeposited funds has increased, and the other side then is going to a decrease in the accounts receivable. Here's the customer balance details supporting the accounts receivable number, where we will also see the decrease with regards to the payment taking place. The total of this form, $43,207.50, should match out to the accounts receivable on the trial balance broken out by customer. If we go back to the customer center and the transactions for the open invoices, then we have one less invoice here. So now we're looking at another item. We're receiving a payment again for the Eric Music. So Eric Music, we received the payment related to this invoice. That means undeposited funds is going to go up. Other side decreasing the accounts receivable. Here is the trial balance. Accounts receivable went down. Undeposited funds went up. Here's the customer balance detail, where we can see then the payments that have been received for Eric Music, total summing up to the $12,757.50. That then matching out to the trial balance. So now we have 2 items that are in the deposit area waiting for us to make the deposit, which will be lowering undeposited funds and increasing the checking account. Here we are making a deposit. So when we hit that deposit form, we got these 2 deposits will pop up for us to check them off. We're going to deposit them at one time. So we have the 2 amounts adding up to the $34,72.50. This is the amount that we expect to see on the bank statement, which is the purpose and the reason for that undeposited funds, to have that clearing account so that we can group the payments together in the same way that we expect them to be on the bank statement. So you want to make sure that when you're setting up your system, you're keeping that in mind. That makes the bank reconciliation easier. Bank reconciliations are a huge internal control, very important to keep in mind. Here we have the checking account going up, undeposited funds going back down to zero after having made the deposit. Let's look at it from a journal entry standpoint. These are our beginning numbers trial balance. We would be saying undeposited funds is going up when we receive the payment. This is a clearing account that's going to be a temporary account that's going to go up and then back down after it serves its purpose, helping us to group the deposits that are going to go into the checking account in the format we expect to see them on the bank statement. And then the other side is going to decrease the accounts receivable. So undeposited funds goes up, accounts receivable goes down. Here's the GL related to them. Undeposited funds was at zero. It went up to the 3,623. And then accounts receivable was at the 46,830, goes down by the 3,623 to 43,207. If we look at the AR subledger, breaking this out by customer, we're looking for that 3,623. Actually, we're looking, 3,623 decrease. It's for Anderson. So they owed us 3,623, went down by that amount, down to zero, rounding difference. That's $1 off because we didn't put the pennies in here. If we add up all of the customers, that adds up to the 43,207, and that amount should match what's on the accounts receivable general ledger. Then if we scroll down, we're going to do it again. So then we do this again. Undeposited funds goes up because we've received a payment from a customer. Accounts receivable goes down. So we've got the undeposited funds. These are the two transactions that have been included here to the 3473. Accounts receivable now at the 12,757. The detail down below. We were last time at undeposited funds at the 3,623, goes up by the 30,450 to the 3473. Accounts receivable was at 43,207, goes down by the 30,450 to 12,757. The AR subledger then is going to be here. We're looking for that 30,000 for Eric Music. They owed us the 30,450, paid us that amount, back down to zero. If we sum up all of the customers, we're at the 12,757, which matches what is on the general ledger and the trial balance. Then we're going to take those deposits and put them into the checking account, expecting that they're going to show up on the bank statement grouped together in one lump sum number. Therefore, we debit the checking account, other side credit to the undeposited funds. So now it's going to be going up into the checking account. Undeposited funds goes back down to zero. Let's take a look at the general ledger accounts. So we've got before in the checking account, we have the 8923. It's going up by the full amount, the 3473 to 123,100. Note that this amount is there as one payment as opposed to two items being in our ledger. You might ask, well, what's the point? Because we'll get to the same result and you added an extra journal entry. It's not as clean. It's not as efficient. You should just put the original amounts to the checking account. But what we're trying to say is this is the amount that we expect to see on the bank statement, making the reconciliation easier. That's the point of it. That's what we're looking to do. And we want to be able to do that so we have the internal control of the bank reconciliation and make that process as easy as we can. Undeposited funds was at the 3473. It goes down by the 3473.20. And here's where we can see the detailed information that breaks out the deposits into the more detail. We can also see that the undeposited funds is a clearing account, meaning it serves its purpose and then clears back out down to zero once served on a periodic kind of basis as needed.